Randy, I will do whatever I can to be of help with the situation. If you need me to come to the house, just give me a call in the morning. My concern is, now that we've brought the doctor into the fold and have played the tough love now or never card, is that the artist may be unable to rise to the occasion due to real emotional stuff. He appeared quite weak and fatigued this evening. He had a terrible case of the chills, was trembling, rambling, and obsessing. Everything in me says he should be psychologically evaluated. If we have any chance at all to get him back in the light, it's going to take a strong therapist to help him through this, as well as immediate physical nurturing. I was told by a choreographer that during the artist's costume fitting with his designer tonight, they noticed he'd lost more weight. As far as I can tell, there was no one taking responsibility, caring for him on a daily basis. Where was his assistant tonight? Tonight I was feeding him, wrapping him in blankets to warm his chills, massaging his feet to calm him, and calling his doctor. There were 4 security guards outside his door, but no one was offering him a cup of hot tea. Finally, it's important for everyone to know, I believe that he really wants this. It would shatter him, break his heart if we pulled the plug. He's terribly frightened it's all going to go away. He asked me repeatedly tonight if I was going to leave him. He was practically begging for my confidence. It broke my heart. He was like a lost boy. There still may be a chance he can rise to the occasion if we get him the help he needs. Sincerely, Kenny.
And does that accurately reflect your thoughts and concerns on June 19th and June 20th following what you testified to?
Yes.
Let me ask you a couple questions, Mr. Ortega. At the beginning of the email, you indicate that we brought the doctor into the... Number one, who is the doctor? Dr. Murray? Okay. And what did you mean by bringing him into the fold?
Dr. Murray was now creating the schedule for Michael. So that he could, he was creating a daily schedule for Michael and involved in helping us so that Michael could make rehearsals.
Okay. And this was in response to the days preceding or that prior week where Michael wasn't showing up to rehearsals?
Yes.
Okay. And you also indicate that have played the tough love, now or never card. Had you played the tough love, now or never card?
No.
What was that referencing?
I believe that there was a meeting that was held, without my presence, that was about informing Michael that, unless he started to show up at rehearsals, that it was very possible we weren't going to be able to make the goals of the show.
And the goals of the show being what?
Being able to open, in London at the O2.
You also state in this email, quote, tonight I was feeding him, wrapping him in blankets to warm his chills, massaging his feet to calm him, and calling his doctor. Again, calling his doctor, is that Conrad Murray?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to reach him that evening?
No, sir.
You then, toward the end of the email, describe, finally, and I'm quoting, finally, it's important for everyone to know, I believe that he really wants this. It would shatter him, break his heart if we pulled the plug. He's terribly frightened, it's all going to go away. When you're referencing, I believe he really wants this, what are you referencing?
That always Michael would talk about how important this was and how we were going to accomplish this, and always just was very positive and optimistic.
Okay. But what is the, he really wants this, what is the this?
The show.
Okay. The tour?
The show. The tour.
Okay. And so when you go on to say it would shatter him, break his heart if we pulled the plug, you're referencing pulling the plug on the tour.
Yeah.
That's yes?
Yes.
And again, the next sentence, he's terribly frightened, it's all going to go away. Again, you're referencing the tour and the production.
Yes.
On that would actually be the same day, Saturday, June 20th, since it was written at 2:04 in the morning. Was a meeting held at the Carolwood address that you attended?
Yes.
Okay. And had that meeting been previously scheduled?
It was scheduled that day.
Okay. That day meaning Saturday, June 20th?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you become aware of this meeting?
My assistant told me that we received a call asking me to be at the house.
Okay. And did you go to Michael's house at Carolwood?
I did.
Do you recall what time of day it was?
I would say late morning or early afternoon.
And knowing that you had sent this email the night before, or actually that same day, did you know that the meeting was going to center on these concerns, or did you speculate, or what?
The meeting wasn't broken down to me. I assumed that it would be about Michael.
Okay. And when you arrived at 100 North Carolwood, who was there?
As I best recollect, it was Randy Phillips, Frank DeLeo, Dr. Murray, and Michael.
And when you first then came into this meeting, did you soon learn what the topic was?
Yes.
Okay. And were you confronted by someone?
Yes.
By whom?
Dr. Murray.
And what was the topic, or what was expressed to you by Conrad Murray at this meeting?
He was upset that I didn't allow Michael to rehearse the night before and that I sent him home. And he was upset that he said I should stop trying to be an amateur doctor and psychologist and be the director and allow Michael's health to him. And
those were the words of Conrad Murray?
As close as I can remember them, yes.
And let me back up for a minute. First you said he was upset that you did not let Michael rehearse.
Right.
And did you respond to that?
I did. I said it wasn't my choice, even though I agreed with it entirely.
You agreed that Michael should not have rehearsed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was Michael's request to sit out and watch the show, and I thought that was a far safer place for him to be.
Okay. But according to what Conrad Murray was relaying to you, this upset Conrad Murray?
Well, yes.
And then he told you words to the effect of, don't act like a doctor or amateur psychologist.
Yes.
Direct the show and leave Michael's health to me.
Yes.
How did you respond to that?
He also assured me, if I may, that Michael's...
The objection sustained. The last answer is stricken, disregarded.
What was your question, please, sir?
Re-ask.
I'll re-ask. What did Conrad Murray, what did he assure you?
That Michael was physically and emotionally capable of handling all of his responsibilities for the show.
And how did you respond?
I was shocked.
Why?
Because Michael didn't appear to me to be physically or emotionally stable at that moment.
From that prior night?
Yeah.
What was Conrad Murray's general demeanor as he made these statements to you?
It was stern.
Were you defending yourself? Were you responding in kind, or?
Yes.
Okay. And how did Conrad Murray respond to that?
Well, I said to Michael, Michael, please tell the doctor that's not the way it went down. I didn't ask you not to perform, and I didn't send you home, that this was something that we agreed on together. And Michael said, yes, that's what happened.
Yes, agreeing with you?
Yes.
Okay. In Dr. Murray's presence?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened after that, if you recall?
Michael told me that he was ready to take the reins, that I should not be afraid, that he was perfectly capable of handling the responsibilities. He wanted to do it, wanted me to stay at his side, told me to believe in him. I told him I loved him. I was concerned for his health and safety. He said, I know that. And I said, that's the only reason why, I brought these things up, because I care about you, and I don't want any ill harm to fall upon you. And he said, I'm fine, Kenny, I promise you. And he gave me a hug, and I left Carolwood.
After hugging Michael?
Yes.
Following that meeting then of Saturday, June 20th, was the next rehearsal the Tuesday, June 23rd, 2009?
Yes.
Okay. So those days in between, that Sunday the 21st, Monday the 22nd, there's no rehearsal those days?
There's a load-in, I believe, to the Staples Center.
Okay. And of course, that same day, Saturday, there was no rehearsal that day as well?
Correct. I don't know if Michael rehearsed privately, but there wasn't a called rehearsal.
Okay.
Sometimes Michael rehearsed privately.
Going then to Tuesday, June 23rd, 2009, was Michael in the same condition he had been on Friday, June 19th?
No.
Okay. What was his demeanor? What was his condition on Tuesday, June 23rd?
He entered into rehearsal full of energy, full of desire to work, full of enthusiasm, and it was a different Michael.
The following day, which would be Wednesday, June 24th, did Michael show up for rehearsal that day?
He did.
And again, what was his demeanor, condition?
The same.
The same as the night prior?
Yes.
Okay. Involved?
Full participant in both rehearsals and other areas of production.
Going back for a moment to June 23rd, do you remember a production, Michael performing The Way You Make Me Feel?
Yes.
Okay. And then on June 24th was one of the rehearsal numbers, the Earth Song?
Yes.
Do you remember a conversation with Michael on June 24th following the rehearsal where he asked you if you were happy?
Yes.
Can you describe that conversation, please?
Yes. We had 2 very successful days of rehearsal, and Michael was feeling great, and he looked at me and he asked me if I was happy, and I said I was happy, and I asked him if he was happy, and he said he was very happy.
Do you recall him saying that he felt the dream or words to that effect?
Yes, he felt like we were accomplishing the dream. He saw it before him in those rehearsals.
Now, the following day, which would have been Thursday, June 25th, 2009, was there a particular illusion scheduled to take place that day?
Yes.
What was that, first of all?
It was the big illusion that happened in the production, and it transitioned Michael from one musical event to another musical event.
And how was that accomplished?
It was a, can you...
What was the illusion?
The illusion, Michael was standing on a bed and these silk flames sort of obscured him, and when the silk flames came down, he vanished, and he would rise up on a cherry picker and float out over the audience.
Okay. And